This is All India Radio. In the program Spotlight, now we bring you a discussion on cabinet decisions. The participants are Santosh Tiwari, economic analyst, and Sonu Sood, AIR correspondent.
Today, the cabinet chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi took several important and wide-ranging decisions pertaining to interest subvention for agricultural loans, enhancement of emergency credit line guarantee scheme, widening access to traditional knowledge digital library, and a contract between India and France related to International Transport Forum. Mr. Tiwari, to begin the discussion, we would like to know from you about the 1.5% interest subvention scheme for all financial institutions on short-term agricultural loans approved by the cabinet. What are the salient features of this scheme and how will it benefit the farmers?
So this is scheme, as you rightly said, that this is going to benefit farmers. So that's the sole objective of the scheme, and this has been restored. So if you look at the current situation, it is required that the government finds out all the ways and looks at all the ways to support, especially small farmers, through easy loans, so that jobs could be created and they could be supported also in the rural areas. So with the help of this scheme, what will happen is that banks will now be able to absorb increase in cost of funds. And this is the way how they will be encouraged to grant loans to farmers for short-term agricultural requirements. And what this will do this will enable more farmers to get the benefit of agriculture credit. So that is the way how you will expand the agriculture credit through this 1.5% interest subvention. One very important point which I talked about initially itself is that it will lead to generation of employment, because what short-term agri loans does is that it provides all activities including animal husbandry, dairying, poultry, fisheries, etc. The opportunity, those who are working in these sectors, the opportunity to take this EC loan and then pay promptly and create jobs and also get livelihood. So what this 1.5% interest subvention would do, again for understanding of our listeners, is that it will allow those who would be providing these credits to provide these loans in an easy way, and the government will bear the burden of the additional cost of funding. And when those agricultural farmers who are working in areas like, as I mentioned, animal husbandry, dairying, poultry, fisheries, etc., when they get these loans, and those who have the capacity and those who will be returning it promptly, they will be gaining livelihood, would be getting into new kind of businesses, new kind of work. This would be creating jobs also. So this is the overall significance of this 1.5% interest subvention scheme at this juncture.
So the additional 3% subvention for prompt repayment as prompt repayment incentive PRI for prompt and timely repayment of the loans, that will also continue?
Yeah, that will also continue. So obviously what will happen is that if the government is absorbing the additional cost of fund, so banks will be able to provide those who are in agriculture with the cheap loan, with the loan at a reduced interest rate. And then those who would be promptly, as I said earlier also, those who would be promptly returning the loans or paying back the loans, they will get this 3% additional benefit. So overall, in totality, if you look at it, then this whole loan scheme, this whole interest subvention based loan becomes very, very cheap for those who can return it promptly and those who can avail this facility in a manner which is for taking their business or taking their livelihood forward by repaying the loans promptly.
So this will be around 4% as I understand?
Yeah, around 4%, because those who would be paying it promptly would be getting 3% benefit more. So around 7% if the interest rate is around 7%, then with this 3% reduction, the loan rate would be 4%. Those who would be paying promptly. I'm telling this to you repeatedly because this benefit of 3% is for those who would pay it promptly.
And this is a short-term loan for up to rupees 3 lakhs, the amount of loan?
Yeah, this is a short-term agri loan up to 3 lakh to the farmers. And if I tell you the exact burden, how the government is trying to promote those who are in agriculture, their livelihood, etc., the additional budgetary provisions of rupees 34,856 crore for the period of 2022-23 to 24-25 under this scheme has been kept. So government is taking a lot of burden to promote employment in agriculture sector and to promote livelihood in agriculture sector through this scheme.
And what will be the benefit for the lending institutions? Will it make them also more capable of giving loans? It will support the lending institutions also?
Yeah, see, what will happen is that those who are into rural lending areas, this whole interest subvention scheme, what it does is that it makes them capable of, it gives them more strength to get into agricultural loans, because one has seen that in these areas, when you go for agricultural loans or when you go for retail loans, the repayment is prompt and the repayment is also in a way encouraging. So these institutions, will get strength to lend to the agricultural sector or the farmers more, and in a way they will not have to think about their own capacity, their own financial losses or that kind of a thing. So when the government is supporting the lending, then it gives you a different kind of a wherewithal to go for rural loans, etc. So you are right. This whole scheme will add, and it has added also in the past, and it has been adding wherewithal to the rural lending institution, banks and financial institutions in agricultural lending.
Mr. Tiwari, under Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign, over 3.13 crore farmers have been issued new Kisan credit cards against the target of 2.5 crore. So you feel that all these efforts together, they complement each other and will make the flow of agricultural credit to the farmers much easier and give a fillip to the agriculture sector of our country?
Absolutely. Because the way digital lending, the way digital working has been infused in the whole agriculture, not only the agriculture system, overall banking system in the country, and it matters more for the rural sector because Kisan Credit kind of a digital window and Kisan Credit kind of a digital capability to the farmers only adds to their capability, only adds to their ways and means to get credit at the right time and in the right way, and do repayments in a way which is not harassing. So one part is you're getting the credit at a lower rate and another part is getting the credit with ease. So what Kisan Credit has done, and you rightly mentioned that the number is now 3.13 crore against the target of 2.5 crore, it has done is that it has brought in or infused in the whole rural credit system the ease of getting credit and ease of repayment. So as I said, one part is getting loan at an affordable rate or at a lower rate. The other part is that you are getting credit easily and you can repay it also easily without any physical contact through digital modes. So that is where the significance of instruments like Kisan Credit Cards comes in.
Second major decision today is approval of enhancement in the corpus of Emergency Credit Line Guarantee Scheme from 4.5 lakh crore rupees to 5 lakh crore rupees. The additional 50,000 crore rupees being allotted specifically for hospitality and related sectors. How do you see the success of this scheme and what is the significance of this special allocation today?
This is also another very big move. This was being asked for by the industry for quite some time since the COVID pandemic broke. So hospitality industry is one of the industries amongst industries who have been badly, miserably affected. So this industry has been demanding for the support from the government, and now when in the post-COVID world where the touch in the industries where the touch was prevalent and the touch was prominent, those industries are also now coming back to normal. But the problem is that in last more than 2 years period when COVID pandemic was there, all prevalent, this sector, hospitality, tourism, and your entertainment, your hotel, those kind of industries, they have been badly affected. And several, in fact, many of the units and many of the business entities have faced closures or very minimal operation. Now, government has to do something, in fact, had to do something to bring them back on track because now the whole world is opening up. People are now going to tourist spots, as you have seen. Entertainment and other industries are now opening up. People are gathering into different places, and the whole world for the hospitality sector is again coming back to normal. In this kind of a situation, those who have suffered, they need support. So what this 50,000 crore additional window would provide to this whole sector and the people working in this sector is that they'll allow them to get loans, again, easy loans through this ECLGS scheme, and bring back their business or try to bring their business back to normal. So that way, this is one sector which needed support badly, and what this 50,000 crore additional sum would do is that it will expedite the normalcy, the coming back of normalcy in this sector. And remember that hospitality is one sector which contributes hugely to your growth, and it is being seen in India as one of the major contributors going ahead in terms of enhancing your growth prospects. So that way, this decision of cabinet today is extremely critical.
As you said, that the contact-intensive sectors have a huge employment potential, and because of their direct and indirect linkages to other sectors, you feel that the step taken today is significant for overall economic recovery?
So if you see that contact-intensive centers, what they do is that enhance growth in a different way. Because as far as manufacturing sector is concerned, as far as services sector is concerned, as far as other sectors are concerned, in some way or the other, things were coming back to normalcy or they were improving. But as far as hotel, tourism, entertainment, all these sectors are concerned, these have huge potential of job, which somehow because of COVID that had waned. Now, when they are coming back, if you have to take your growth to 8%, 9%, 10% level again, then these are the sectors, where the growth will have to come. And that can come only through some kind of government support and re-infusing of energy again in this sector. Because this sector is down for last 2-3 years with the support like ECLGS and other support policy measures. You will add vigor, you will bring back this hospitality sector again to normalcy. And that will give you extra advantage, extra push to your growth prospects. That's for sure.
Also, Cabinet has approved widening access of traditional knowledge digital library database. What are the advantages of this decision, Mr. Tiwari, and who all will benefit from the opening up of the access?
This is a very critical decision again, because widening of access of traditional knowledge digital library, which is there with the government and which is used up till now majorly for patent purposes, so that nobody gets different kind of patents where the right is with Indian traditional knowledge. So if you look at it, the government is projecting, and rightly so, this as a new dawn of India's traditional knowledge. Why? This will drive your research and development. India has vast potential, vast repository of traditional knowledge, whether it is Ayurveda, whether it is Siddha, whether it is Unani, whether it is Sova, and other yoga, all sorts of knowledges you have. Now, these were there in this traditional knowledge digital library. These are there. Now, under new education system also, you have an objective to promote these knowledges and bring India into the forefront of your thought leadership in the traditional system. Now, this opening up will allow different users to use knowledges which are there in that library. This will allow them to use these knowledges for their business purposes or research purposes. That will create jobs also. And the biggest advantage is that this traditional knowledge of India, as I said, will create business in India for Indian entrepreneurs, allow researchers across the globe to do research and take this knowledge to the next level. With that, what this will do is that you have seen that during COVID-19 times, Indian traditional knowledge-based medicine system or the healthcare system that was able to create immunity in people to fight COVID-19 virus. You would have seen that metals like copper, which has been part of the Indian traditional system, the antimicrobial property of copper that can be used in hospitals, in railways, or at other places to curb spread of COVID-19. These kind of knowledges are there in the traditional system. Now, what you need to do is that once you allow, although registered use, not that everybody would be able to use these knowledges which are there in the digital library in any fashion, but there would be a registered use. But if you allow business people, if you allow companies, if you allow entrepreneurs to use this knowledge, research, and then come out with new products and spread Indian traditional knowledge into the whole world, then A, it gives you economic benefits, it gives you business potential, and B, it creates different kind of job prospects also. So it's a win-win for everybody, So this is also in terms of, giving economic boost with the help of your traditional knowledge. Cabinet decision also is a very significant one.
So it highlights the continued relevance of traditional knowledge in addressing the current and emerging needs of the world. Another decision was that Cabinet has approved signing of contract between India and France to support International Transport Forum activities on the Indian transport sector. How do you see this?
And this is also a research and analysis, the research and policy measures which are there, especially focused on decarbonization of transport. So decarbonization of transport in one major area in climate action, which India has clearly identified as one of the prominent ones which it will pursue going ahead. So these kind of treaties, what these will do is that it will allow research, analysis and technology exchange, plus looking at the ways to find out modes and different kind of steps which could decarbonize your transport. So these kind of treaties, these kind of agreements become very important that way.
So thank you so much, Mr. Tiwari, for giving us a deeper insight into the far-reaching implications of the various decisions taken by the Cabinet today.
Thank you.
You were listening to a discussion on cabinet decisions. The participants were Santosh Tiwari, economic analyst, and Sonu Sood, AIR correspondent. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. You can listen to it on a mobile app, News on AIR. This program is also available on our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official. You may email opinion about this program at airnsdtalks@gmail.com.